Nottingham Forest beating Arsenal and now confirmed as staying up in the Premier League. A reminder, they were bottom of the second division of English football when Steve Cooper was appointed, and that was 20 months ago. Wow.
Incredible.
I've got to say, athletic planning department. In a podcast that features at least 400 different Nottingham Forest fans at any given
I know,
time.
I did think that, yeah. Like statistically.
But us three.
Yeah. Statistically, you're never there's always going to be at least one on.
Daniel is generally here on a Monday, but he has
celebrates.
claimed he's at the dentist, but I don't know. There was he tweeted a picture of a glass of champagne.
Yeah, I hope he's hungover. Yeah.
2-day bender.
Yeah.
No, it's incredible. And the real, there's been so many sackings this season. Forest, one of the few clubs who have struggled at points that have kept their manager. And I'm really pleased they did. And I'm sure all their supporters are absolutely delighted. I mean, all their supporters always wanted him to stay. But I think it's one of those seasons where, maybe because so many have been sacked, that there are a lot of Manager of the Year candidates. And I think Cooper's got to be one of them. Those that have kept their jobs,
right,
like him. I just think him, Gary O'Neill's another one. But yeah, incredible.
Marco Silva,
potentially, yeah.
Thomas Frank,
definitely.
I think for Cooper to keep Forest up with a game to spare, when they had all of those new players come in, is a remarkable achievement.
Well, I mean, some of those new players were actually pretty good.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Kayla Navas, if you've got someone
Navas,
like that
yeah.
Well, obviously, Morgan Gibbs-White was at the heart of the goal they scored against Arsenal. And I remember there was another point in the game, I think it might have been in the second half, produced this nice little dribble and run and nearly scored. And when you've got someone like that in a team that's fighting at the bottom of the league, that X-factor player, it always helps out. I think he's been brilliant this season.
Brilliant. Totally brilliant.
It is interesting as well because that model, I think Fulham tried it when they got promoted, signed a load of players. Then they got relegated straight away. Villa did it when they came up in 2019, and it sort of worked enough for them. Not quite to this extent, but I do wonder now, teams that come up, in the way that football works, that you see something that works for another team and think, oh, we'll do that. So
the difference is Cooper.
Yeah.
That's why he deserves so much credit, is we've seen this model fail before. The variable here was a really solid manager who was able to work it out. Yeah.
But also, the home form, I can't remember what the stat is off the top of my head. I think it's 81%.
81%, you can remember it.
Yeah, which is just absolutely ridiculous.
The last team to take points off City was Forest at home.
Yeah, Chris Wood.
Yeah.
I mean, to 81%. So it's 81% of the total points they've earned this season at home. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Intriguingly, 18% was their possession against Arsenal. It was enough to secure the win. Good time to be playing Arsenal, I'm guessing. Fire maybe gone out a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was asked before the game by an Everton fan, do you think Arsenal might be able to do Everton a favour here? And I said, I hate to break it to you, but what's going to happen is Forest are going to go ahead in the 30th minute and Arsenal are going to do absolutely nothing thereafter. As it turned out, it was the 19th minute. But football can be amazingly unpredictable at times, but it can also be very predictable at times. And this just felt tailor-made for that kind of setup.
Can you predict what's going to happen now then with Forest out of the relegation picture to Everton, Leeds and Leicester? Two of them are going to go down, aren't they? Let's turn our attention to the teams who aren't, specifically Everton, Leeds and Leicester. Two of them are going to go. Leicester, Everton looked like they should be all right after that late goal by Yerry Mina away at Wolves. Was that a key moment, do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the teams, those three teams that are battling out, they're just so poor. I'm just being brutally honest. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I'm sure the fans of those three clubs would agree that none of them really look like winning. So I think out of the virtue of the fact that Everton have this 2-point cushion and they're playing Bournemouth. I think you said they're playing Bournemouth at home as well.
So the run-in is Everton the final day. Leicester are 3 points behind Everton.
But obviously Leicester play Newcastle tonight, and that's a huge challenge.
I actually think they look more likely to get out of it.
Who, Leicester?
Leicester, yeah, because I think it remains in their hands right now.
Even if Leicester, say, were to pick up an improbable 3 points away at Newcastle on Monday night, that would put them level with Everton. The final day would see Leicester taking on West Ham, while Everton face Bournemouth. Leeds, meanwhile, would be up against Spurs at home, and only one of those three teams can survive. Were
Leicester to win tonight, then I think
it's them.
Then they'll stay up.
Okay.
But I just think that's
a big if.
It's a big if. Newcastle are basically guaranteed top four.
Exactly. That's why I think Leicester have got a chance.
You think they'll be in
all or nothing,
party mode?
I think we're probably all in agreement Leeds are gone.
Yeah.
Really?
I think if you look at the Rice's equaliser on yesterday, I don't think a single Leeds player checks their shoulder to see who's coming in at the back post. It's just that kind of lack of urgency, that lack of fight. I think that's what shocked me the most.
From a Big Sam team as well.
Yeah.
Or is it fair to call him that, given that he's only just arrived? Their results, though, since he's come in, 1 point from a possible 9. They've been beaten, 3-1 here, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1 as well.
He flunked it. Honestly, the one thing you expect from a team fighting for their lives is fight. There wasn't even much of that. And you expect that again from a Big Sam team. He's clearly had basically no impact whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it feels like he's increasingly reaching a point where he struggles to get through to these players. You haven't seen much of an uptick or much of that desire. Which, given that's surely when you bring in a manager at this stage, so close to the end of the season, that's all you can really. I mean, you're not going to have the time to kind of make huge tactical innovations. It's can I get through to these players? Can I motivate them?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that.
And he turned up giving it the big one, saying he's better than Klopp and Pep. No, you're not, mate. See you later.
He didn't say he was better than
on a par.
Bigger.
On their level.
But I mean, Leeds have Spurs on the final day. Spurs haven't won away since January. So there's still a chance they will pick up points.
So Leeds win that. Is it Leeds who you're saying?
Yeah.
Leeds. So Leeds win that game. That puts them on 34 points.
But Everton would only need a point because they've got better goal difference.
Okay.
And that's partly why that 99th minute equaliser was so crucial, because it does mean Everton, assuming Leicester don't win tonight, or that they can get away with
a draw against Bournemouth.
Well, that would get them ahead of Leeds. Leicester still could, if they pick up 4 points from their next 2 games, Leicester would stay up on goal difference. Okay,
so Leicester after Newcastle have West Ham. Benji, what kind of game is that going to represent?
Don't know. It depends. Weirdly, I'm going to compare us to Man City, but we've both got the same decision. Do we rest players, or do we kind of maintain this match fitness and momentum? I got a feeling there's going to be some rested players, so I fancy Leicester to beat us on the last day. I think they generally beat us at Leicester. Yeah,
that feels like the ideal team to be playing in a way. West Ham, because clearly, I just don't think they're going to take that game especially seriously.
Even if we play our best players, they'd be completely forgiven for not giving it their all and risking injuries and going in for 50-50s ahead of a cup final. So.
Wow. All right. So I guess it all comes down to what Leicester do Monday night. What a shame, as you say, that we're recording this before that game. Lucky you, listener, because you maybe already know what happens in that game.